5:50 left to play in the third period. The New York Giants 2nd and 7 from their 43. Again, Johnson, 45, 50, 45, down to the 40 to the 38-yard line before Charlie Waters made the stop.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video, and welcome to the Gridiron. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you can maybe give this video a thumbs up or possibly leave a comment below or maybe even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But at least anyway, just thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. And Happy New Year. Hopefully everybody's having a happy and safe New Year. 2021's behind us, 2022. For us Giant fans, hopefully 22 is better than 2021. I really can't get any worse. So hopefully we got better times ahead of us. Now I saw a couple of things I saw. That's one nice thing about being in a bunch of Facebook groups with associated with any team, but basically, I'm obviously with the Giants, and you see these little stats here and all and everything. You see, like through week 16, I saw this on in a Facebook group. The Giants lead the league, in games missed. The top 5 teams, the top games missed. The Giants are number 1 with 301 games missed by their players so far. And obviously, it's not including the last 2 games. The Titans are 2nd. They have 300, so they're right there with the Giants. The Ravens are 3rd. They have 298 games, so they're right behind the Giants. They're right there. Then you got the Jets at 4th at 258, and the Lions are 243. But the interesting thing is that the Titans at 300, all right, they lost their best player, Henry, running back. They're 10 and 5. The Ravens, they've had all kinds of injuries. So have the Giants, but they're 298 games they've lost. Due to injury, they're 8 and 7. They got they have a winning record, but the other week they had a 3rd-string quarterback in there, and he threw for over 300 yards. And they got a winning record. I mean, we're right? We're 4-11, right? We got 300 games missed. Ravens are 8 and 7. They got 298 games missed. Titans missed 300 games. They're 10 and 5. I mean, very, very interesting. The Giants now that they have with Matt Parrott and Gary Brightwell going to have to go on an injury reserve, the season ending, obviously, IR. The Giants now have 30 guys throughout the course of the season. At one point or the other have been on IR. 30 guys. Basically, you got a starting roster of 53, so basically 3 out of 5 guys that have been on the IR at one point or another. Absolutely unbelievable. So at one point or another during the season, Quincy Wilson, Darius Williams, Levine Toilolo, Andrew Thomas, Caden Smith, Ellerson Smith, Sterling Shepard, John Ross, Dante Pettis, Matt Parrott, Kyle Murphy, Blake Martinez, Ted Larson, Shane Lemieux, Joshua Kalou, Daniel Jones, Rice and John, Darnay Holmes, Kadar Holman, I think that's how you pronounce it, Justin Hilliard, Jonathan Harrison, Trent Harris, Nick Gates, Nate Ebner, Carter Coughlin, T.J. Brunson, Cam Brown, Gary Brightwell, C.J. Borden, Jabrill Peppers, all been one point or another, or been on there for long periods of time on the IR. 30 guys we got on the IR. Absolutely, simply amazing. And the Giants on the injury report as of Friday, as of yesterday, they got 3 guys out. Right. All wide receivers. Colin Johnson with the hamstring. Got to have somebody with a hurt hamstring. It just wouldn't be right. All the injuries the Giants have had with the hamstring so far this year. John Ross, he's got with COVID, but he also has a problem with his knee. Surprising. And then Kadarius Toney. Shocking. He has a shoulder problem. So we got 3 guys out. Of course, they're all wide receivers. Doubtful is Billy Price. I just want to give a little shout out and thoughts and prayers to him and his family and all. He's doubtful, doesn't look, had a personal problem. Apparently his wife had a miscarriage. I think it was 17 weeks into the, a little over about 4 months in, and she had a miscarriage. I think it was, as it's going to be his first baby, and absolutely horrible. So thoughts and prayers out to Billy Price. I mean, he's not an all-pro or Hall of Famer or nothing, but he came in and took over for Nick Gates when Nick Gates had to slide over to guard for about a quarter. Then he lost his season, maybe his career, but anyway, but Billy Price been there. He's been a rock on the offense. I know we've had problems and all that stuff and everything, but you got to give the guy a lot of credit. He's done a phenomenal job for us, so far. And I said thoughts and prayers go out to his family. I hope everything, I wish him nothing but the best. Then we got questionable. We got questionable. We got Adoree Jackson. He's ramping up from COVID, but he's got a quad problem. Austin Johnson, he's got a problem with his foot. Chris Myrick, he's got a problem with his hip. Nate Solder, he's ramping up from COVID. All right, so we got some guys, questionable, but we got 3 guys are out, and I said Billy Price probably is not going to wind up playing either. So the Bears have nobody out. Now this is it'll be our 16th game. I believe this is the 16th game in a row that the Giants have had more injuries than their opponents. We're 16 out of 16. Simply amazing. Doubtful is for the Bears. They got J.P. Holtz. He's got a personal problem. So he's not even injured. If he didn't have it's like with Billy Price. If he didn't have a personal problem, he'd be playing. He's not injured, right? The ones that they're questionable for the Bears, they got a few guys. They got Duke Shelley, all right. He's got a problem with his heel. Justin Fields, he's got a problem with his ankle. Now I heard Andy Dalton's going to be starting for him. So we know Andy Dalton last year with the Cowboys, so what he can do against the Giants. But obviously they're different teams. But Andy Dalton's quite capable of running an offense. So Jason Peters, he's got a problem with his ankle. And Eddie Goldman, he's got a problem. He's a nose tackle. He's got a problem with the finger. So I can't possibly see somebody having a problem with the finger and not playing. So. But then I got Hakeem Hicks. He's ramping up from COVID. So it looks, it's a good chance he'll wind up playing. But Goldman will probably wind up playing. Hicks will probably wind up playing. So basically they're gonna have maybe three guys, maybe 4 guys not play. But I said once again, they have nobody out, and I said this is the 16th game in a row. The Giants have had more injuries than their opponent has. Kenny Golladay is the only player, the only wide receiver on the 53-man roster that's healthy. Everybody else, is going to want to come, is going to be coming off the practice squad. Now we're going to have to call Farrell Cooper up once again. Alex Bachman, David Sills, and Travis Toivonen. They might all be called up. If we only got one guy, probably call those other 4 guys up, so we'll have 5 wide receivers. But basically, we'll have Kenny Golladay, and any other wide receiver is going to be practice squad wide receiver. Then, of course, we're going to have a second or third string quarterback thrown it to those guys. Absolutely freaking amazing. The horror story of the 2021 season just keeps on rolling along. Any more injuries that the Giants have for a while, say 2 or 3 more guys go down, well, they might just have to start running maybe, the wishbone or something. Have maybe 5 offensive linemen, maybe bring in 2 tight ends, have the quarterback, and have three guys in the backfield, 3 running backs. They might have to start running out. They just run out of wide receivers. Now, Marv Levy, back in the late 70s with the Chiefs, he used to run the wing T in the late 70s. 1978, they ran the ball for 2,986 yards. They ran the ball for 187 yards a game, and that wasn't with the quarterback. That's no Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick kind of, Jalen Hurts kind of thing. No, that's running backs turning around, handing the ball off, and they got 180. Nowadays, you got 187 yards rushing. That's because you got a quarterback like Lamar Jackson or somebody like that. 187 yards is tough to come by with just running backs. They had 10 out of 1978, the Chiefs, 10 out of their 16 games they played, they had 180 yards or more rushing. I think they had over 200 yards rushing 8 times. I mean, they could run the ball. They stunk. They had no defense. The passing game was absolutely horrible, so that's why they had to run the ball. They had to try to run the ball, keep the clock running, all that and everything. But, I mean, the Giants get much more hurt. I mean, they're going to have to bring, I guess, Devontae Booker, Elijah Penei, and Saquon Barkley be in the backfield. I guess you're going to have maybe Evan Ingram and Kyle Rudolph or what, your tight ends, bring them all in, and just try to run the ball every play. But I mean, the Giants are absolutely amazing. The horror story just continues, especially with the injuries. Then I saw an article, it's with the Daily News. I'll leave a link to it. You can check it out if you want. Kind of like, it's like Joe Judge kind of like changed his stance on, certain guys and stuff like that and all. I mean, like last year, you had like Golden Tate. Okay, I remember we were playing the Buccaneers, and he looked into the camera and he's like, "Throw me the ball," right? And obviously that didn't go over too well with Joe Judge. He's kind of, I guess, showing up, Daniel Jones trying to show up his quarterback. Throw me the ball. I want the ball. So he wound up getting suspended for a game. He was put on the scout team. He ran the offense of the other team, for the when he was suspended. So, but he also later he liked a tweet that demanded that he be traded or cut. So and he liked it. So I mean, things like that. It's not setting good standards for your team. And I understand it. When Joe Judge wind up suspending him, hey, dude, I don't care who the hell you think you are, dude. Do it again. I don't know if he's going to kick him off the team or not, but you're suspended. We ain't having that. And I was all for that. It was the same thing, kind of like when DeAndre Baker, last year, after he had the problem with the gun, he wound up getting, he wasn't charged with anything because apparently the guy's lawyers, their attorneys and all, were trying to get money out of DeAndre Baker because they knew he had some money. So apparently, they found, the fault wasn't with DeAndre Baker. So he was free of all the charges. But the Giants wind up, they let him go. And didn't want him. So I can understand that. But I mean, also Joe Judge is not associated with Gold. I mean, he didn't bring Golden Tate in, and he didn't draft DeAndre Baker. So I mean, so is that how it is? I mean, if I'm not associated with you, I'll lower the boom on you. I mean, because that's it. DeAndre Baker. Had that problem. It's like that's not setting a good standard for our team. So I'm going to let you go. Now, so apparently, they let him go. Well, the 1 year he spent with the Giants, this is Pro Football Focus. He was not very good. He graded out at a 48.4. Then Kansas City picked him up last year, and he graded out at 67.3. He didn't play much, but he graded out at 67.3. Then Kansas City, this year too, and he's playing with Kansas City, and he's grading out at 60. So apparently, Kansas City got him, and he's not playing unbelievably great, but he's doing adequate. He's doing better with Kansas City than he is when he was with the Giants. So let's go figure. But I mean, it's like Judge was not associated with Golden Tate or DeAndre Baker. So is that why he kind of let them go? I mean, but they're like, what? So that's a first rounder, DeAndre Baker, right? We don't want that here. We're just going to let you go. But then what about all the other, what about, like Kadarius Toney? What about this freaking crap that he's done? He's not playing this weekend. So he had 2 problems with COVID, right? He's had 6 injuries in 15 games. So he'll be missing his 6th game this season. And possibly if he misses the last game with the shoulder, it'll be a 7th game. But then also with that, not only may be missing 6 or 7 games, but The one game against the Rams, I think he was in there for 6 snaps in the first drive, and they took him out because he was injured. The first game of the season against the Broncos, he played 5 snaps. The second game of the season against the Washington football team, he played 19 snaps. So, I mean, so out of these 10 games he played, I mean, really only like 7 of them did he play a nice amount, of the snaps. It's like, does this freaking guy want to play football? I mean, there's a thing in the Daily News. I'm just going to read this. I say I'll leave a link, and you can check this article out if you want. And this guy who wrote the article said, meanwhile, it was strange to watch Kadarius Toney stroll slowly onto the practice field Wednesday while the rest of the team stretched. The first rounder would be listed as a non-participant with a shoulder injury, but he was in full uniform. And while other players were urged to hustle to start the stretch, Toney came outside late and took his time getting to the sideline. Isn't that nice? Not to mention, Toney could trademark his own game of operation with his laundry list of rookie season injuries. A positive COVID 2 times, a foot issue, which in the spring after he wore the wrong size cleats. So a foot, right? Then a hamstring, an ankle, a thumb, a quad, an oblique, and a shoulder. He had 7 different... Are you freaking kidding me, dude? Let's just say this. All of Toney's teammates are playing through something. If you play any snap, a game, or anything you're playing through, nobody's 100%. And it seems to play through their teammates, and they seem to play through all these injuries, and it's not noticeable. Given that Judge has built such a strong New York Giants foundation, and why is it worth it to tolerate personalities or habits that might undercut the standards set for the whole team? I mean, which makes a lot of sense. Why are they putting up, why are all these guys over here, right, hustling their butt up and playing injured and all, and this guy has had 7 different injuries if you include the foot and the sprain, and the 2 COVID. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, he needs to sit down with this dude and say, look, dude, if you don't want to play, you're freaking out of here. And then, of course, you got Isaiah Wilson. After Rob Sale said he needs to be more dependable and all that and everything, why are we sticking with him? Why are we playing with him? Right? I mean, I don't get it. I mean, if he's not producing, if he's not dependable, if he's not trying, I mean, all of this stuff and everything, why is he still on the team? Why are you keeping? Last week he suited up against the Eagles. He was the only one that didn't have a snap. The only one. Why are we putting up with this? Why are you getting rid of Golden Tate, suspending him? Why are you getting rid of DeAndre Baker? I'm getting rid of him. Right, first rounder. Right, he's doing okay with the Chiefs. He didn't do okay with the Giants, but he's doing okay with the Chiefs. Why are we just letting him go? And then we got some guy, Kadarius Toney, who's coming out every week's got a different injury. I mean, I've never seen anybody with 7 different injuries in one season before. It's like, are you serious? I mean, and even the games he does play, and he's only playing like 30, 35 snaps. He comes out and he's got a different injury. It's like, are you serious? Does this freaking guy want to play? I say, as far as with Isaiah Wilson, I mean, dude, let's grow up. Big boy pants on. This might be your last chance, right? Somebody's, he's got to grow up. I mean, he's been with the team for months now. If he doesn't want to play, be dependable or learn or whatever, get rid of him. There's 1,000 guys out there who may not be as good or physically gifted as him, but there's 1,000 guys out there who will come in and give it their all, unlike him. So what Joe Judge has got to do, all right, in this off season, if he's still around on the team and all, if he's still lucky enough to be coach of this team, he needs to have a long look at himself and what he's building. It goes to the trainers. I mean, these freaking injuries are absolutely unbelievable. It goes to all the coaches that he has, the coaches that aren't producing, and it goes to the players too. If you come out with an injury every other game, dude, I don't want you on the team. Get the frick out of here. Joe Judge has got a lot of soul searching to do in this offseason, if he makes it to next season. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!